the Gremloblin.
Fun fact about this little guy, if you look into his eyes, you can see your worst nightmare.
The Gremloblin awoke with a start, grabbed my assistant with his enormous claws, and stared intensely into F's eyes.
When fighting a Gremloblin, use water only as a last resort, as water will make him much, much scarier. Ah! Who writes sentences like that?
He mutated before my eyes, and with a mighty heave of his wings, took flight down the mountain with my assistant in his grasp. I sprinted down the cliffside after the creature, tearing my coat and scraping myself bloody, watching helplessly as the monster flew farther into the distance. It was clear that I was going to lose F forever if I didn't think fast, so I whipped out my magnet gun, pointed it at the hyperdrive still cradled in F's arms, and, with a magnetic rush, was pulled 50 feet up through the air onto the Gremloblin's back. One hard blow to the back of the head with my gun, and he was out cold. He careened down through the air, taking me and F with him. A necessary gamble. We crashed through a barn roof, and were fortunate enough to land in a soft, cushioning hayloft. The Gremloblin was knocked out, and the startled horses began to calm down. The hyperdrive was thankfully in an empty trough, safe and sound. F, however, was far worse for wear. He seemed utterly panicked by what he had experienced, and was in such a babbling state of terror, he didn't even seem to notice that his arm was broken and pierced in several places with the Gremloblin's venomous quills. I immediately took him home for treatment. Despite our fortune, I have become worried about my assistant. I was able to treat his physical wounds, but I fear there are mental wounds not as easily remedied. For the past several nights, he has been unable to sleep, apparently still haunted by the Gremloblin's gaze.
But I lie awake at night, haunted by the thoughts of what I've done.
More alarming is his Kubik's Cube. It has sat scrambled, unfixed, on his desk for days. I myself have survived many monster attacks without trauma, but perhaps F is more sensitive than I realized. I spent the afternoon teaching F some of my meditation techniques and a heart rate slowing exercise I learned to help control fear. F seemed skeptical, but I reminded him that we are scientists and that by using our creativity we can solve any problem we face, even our fears.
I believe I have invented a machine that can permanently erase these memories from my mind.
My assistant took my advice in the worst possible way. Today, he ran up to me beaming and saying he had spent all night working on a solution to his anxiety. He produced this unsettling device. Apparently, it can target and destroy bad memories, including his frightening encounter with the Gremloblin. Memory gun. What if it gets in the wrong hands? Blast shield. Not nearly large enough. What if the blowback affected the user? Bulb. Blasts a wave of radiation strong enough to disassemble the neurological pathways that contain memory. Is it permanent? Memory canister. Holds a spool of electric tape that is supposed to copy and store the memory for later use. Output jack. To use on a wider scale. The potential applications are alarming. Specifier. Allows the user to type out and target specific memories. I shudder to think what a typo could produce.
Test subject 1, Fiddleford.
I didn't hesitate to let F know that, despite his good intentions, this device was far too dangerous to keep. The temptation for misuse was catastrophic. For all I know, he's already used the ray on me before. He was crestfallen by my advice, but after some discussion he came to see the wisdom in it. He said that he didn't want to risk forgetting his wife and son. I ordered him to destroy the gun, and he did. At least I think he did. I can't quite remember. The carnival. In order to get F's mind off his recent trauma, I decided it was time to take a break from our project. The carny. I found my assistant cheerfully fixing some gears on a broken Ferris wheel and chatting with an odd young carny. Although this seedy character was little more than a teenager, his bald head was covered with strange tattoos, bearing a striking resemblance to the defunct scientific field of phrenology. The young man, name tag, Ivan Wexler, was in the middle of telling a fretful anecdote. Apparently, the other carnies made fun of him for his head tattoos. When he told the bullies to stop, they locked him in the haunted freak house for an entire night, which had utterly terrified him. He lost sleep for weeks and wished he could forget the entire thing. F whispered something to the man and handed him a piece of paper with a symbol on it, which I didn't get a good look at.
I can't destroy this. It's my life's work.
I fear we've unleashed a grave danger on the world, one I'd just as soon forget. I quit!
F is nowhere to be found, so I must redouble my research to discover Bill's weakness. I pray that I can prevent the darkness that F saw coming. If only I had listened to him when I had the chance.
I call it the Society of the Blind Eye. We will help those who want to forget by erasing their bad memories.
Everything I see only feeds my growing paranoia. After several weeks researching Bill, I went to town for food only to find this mysterious symbol everywhere. There it is again! 2 nights later, I glimpsed a group of hooded figures. They ran away from me yelling, "It is unseen!"
It is unseen.
As I pursued them, I responded, "No, it isn't, you creeps. I can see you just fine." Then they threw some trash cans in my way and vanished. Why can't I shake the idea that this new cult is somehow connected to me and my work? Can it merely be coincidence that my own project has reached this critical juncture at the same time this group has shown itself? The symbols are so familiar. The blind eye. What does it mean? Can't be unseen. If my suspicions are correct, this is the work of Fiddleford. Does he really have to go to such great lengths to forget? He used it on me, I'm certain. Memories are returning of my assistant using the ray on himself, then zapping me to cover up his actions. I've had dreams of F wearing a red hood, watching me from the shadows. What if those weren't dreams? I believe he hired construction workers to help him build the portal, then erased their memories to keep the job secret. And erased mine, too, so that I wouldn't chide him for taking the risk. This is all my fault. I should have destroyed this gun when I had the chance. Are they trying to stop him? Or are they trying to stop me from stopping him? That doesn't make any sense. I cannot keep going like this without some sort of rest. I can barely think straight.
Toby determined?
Bud Gleeful?
That farmer guy?
Creepy dude who married a woodpecker? You too?
And you've never met me before. And if you had, you wouldn't remember. I am Blind Ivan, and we are the Society of the Blind Eye. Formed many years ago by our founder... Does anyone remember who he was?
We've been using that ray on our own brains an awful lot.
But why would you do all this? What do you have to gain?
As you have no doubt discovered, Gravity Falls is a town plagued with supernatural strangeness. No one knew how to stop the things that went bump in the night, so our founder invented the next best thing, a way for us to forget. We took it upon ourselves to help the troubled townsfolk by erasing the memories of the strange things they've seen. Now the people of Gravity Falls go about their lives ignorant and happy, thanks to us. And as a perk, we help ourselves forget things that trouble us.
Oh, I think you just might. Say cheese! Thanks for visiting the museum for Gold Miner Appreciation Night. Be sure to tip the gold miner on your way out.
I'm sorry, but what's my name? Where am I?
Your name is Toot Toot McBumbersnazzle. You're a traveling banjo minstrel with a song in your heart and funny tattoos on your head.
Yes. I am Toot Toot McBumbersnazzle. Cheers! Toot Toot is my name.